you can't get much higher than Mercedes-Benz when it comes to big companies, and you're the head of HR. That's an amazing journey.
I really didn't know what to do with it.
How did you go from starting at Premed, not even knowing what you're majoring in, now being the head of HR for Mercedes-Benz? What were some of the stepping stones that got you there?
So I went Premed because I thought I like school, not thinking that there's a lot of blood and stuff. When I left Premed and went into industrial organizational psychology, I ran into somebody in an elevator, and we were stuck in an elevator for probably 5 minutes, and I met this guy who happened to be the vice president of one of the accounts for Oldsmobile. So I talked to him, he gave me his card.
You're just sitting in the elevator and you randomly just meet this dude, gives you a card.
Well, we were stuck, right?
Yeah. I just had a CT scan done on my stomach.
That's not invasive, right?
No, you just lay there and the machine goes around you.
Okay.
But the brain scan, I don't really know what it is.
Did they inject you with anything?
I had to get contrast done last time.
Did that hurt?
No, it just tingles. It makes you feel like you're peeing your pants.
So once I got contrast for an MRI and they did it wrong.
Yeah.
I was in debilitating pain. They hit a nerve that I couldn't move. Like my whole body instantly just crunched up.
No, that didn't happen to me.
And so I'm terrified of these things.
Thank you for adding that to my fear. My list.
Do you have fear of needles? No. Okay.
My wife does. My wife doesn't have a fear of needles. She just passes out when she gets her blood drawn.
Oh, really?
Like actually just passes out cold. I thought she was kidding. And then we got married and we had to get our blood drawn for life insurance. And she just passed out in the chair. And I'm like I was like holding her head.
So she wouldn't fall over?
Yeah. Yeah. She was like dead weight.
Oh my gosh.
That's like for probably about a minute and a half. And
that's kind of scary too.
Oh, very.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Cause we just got married and then all of a sudden I just see my wife just, and then the nurse was like, she'll come back. She'll come back. And she wasn't. And then it's like, she'll come back. And then I'm like, is she good? And I could see the nurse was like, yeah, she's fine. But you could see the nurse start getting a little bit
nervous.
Wait a second, this isn't normal. And then my wife finally came back. And but the past couple times she's been better. She hasn't passed out the past couple times. So when we first got married, she passed out the first 2 times she got blood draw.
And with you guys having kids, I mean, that's a lot of blood draws.
Yeah. Yeah. But so then we figured out now if she lays down while they're doing it, she's fine. So
don't look.
Yeah. I don't mind. I used to get plasma in college. Have you given plasma?
No.
They used to pay good money for plasma. Because what plasma, to my knowledge, and I could be wrong, is they separate the red blood cells from the white blood cells. And the white blood cells is the plasma. And they put the red blood cells back in your body.
So you're sitting there while they're...
Yeah, and there's a machine that's spinning super fast beside you. They separate it. But then the red blood cells, again, to my knowledge, I'm not a doctor, gives you energy. So a lot of times after blood draws, you kind of feel tired. You don't even feel any different because they put it all back in that they needed. And so they used to pay $80 for an hour.
So it was like a part-time job for you?
Yeah, everything in college, just go up and get some plasma, make $80 real quick, study, but the plasma needles are they're hoses, dude. They're huge. Not huge long.
I used to work for the American Red Cross when I was in high school as a volunteer.
Yeah.
And I would work all the blood drives, but I would never be the one that's administering anything. I just do all the coordination, but I'm like, I don't need a stare. So I should have took that as a sign not to go pre-med, but I still thought, well, I'm going to be pre-med. No.
You did it?
I was pre-med for 3 years and then in undergrad.
At Michigan State?
At Michigan State.
Okay. And then what did you switch to?
Industrial organizational psychology.
That's a lot.
And it was the only thing you can get to finish in 4 years with the classes I had already taken without pivoting into a whole bunch of random classes. Okay. Right?
Yeah.
So I had my counselor say, okay, here's all the classes you can take. Here are the options you can pick from, right? And so I picked
the one class that you already, or the one
degree.
Major.
Yeah, I was like, I can do that. And I'm like, I don't know what this is, but I can graduate in 4 years and I don't have to get a loan or anything, right? So I picked the route of least resistance. Now, for the first time in my entire life, I'm officially using that degree because it's a basis for HR. Right? But I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what HR was.
Yeah.
Just did it.
All worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now, at the end of this month, you're stepping down from being the head of HR at Mercedes-Benz North America, correct?
Yes.
That's been a wild ride, I'm sure.
Yes.
You know, next in your journey, we're figuring that out. You know what I mean? You're figuring out what's next, and I think it's an exciting spot for you because you have the options open. But I think a lot of people that listen to the podcast, you know, I interview a lot of people that are just top of their craft. And in a way, you kind of made it to the top of your craft. You can't get much higher than Mercedes-Benz when it comes to big companies, and you're the head of HR. That's an amazing journey. Like in a 3-minute synopsis, quick storytelling, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did that journey look like for you? How did you go from starting at Premed, not even knowing what you're majoring in, now being the head of HR for Mercedes-Benz, and, you know, now looking to the next stage, but like, what were some of the stepping stones that got you there?
So I went pre-med because I thought, I like school, right?
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, I'm going to go, what can you do that allows you to go to work, you know, take a lot of classes and go to school? And I thought, well, I'll do pre-med, right? Not thinking that there's a lot of blood and stuff, you know? And so, and not realizing that I was really not a fan of really getting that close to all the fluids, right?
Yeah.
And so when I left pre-med and went to industrial organizational psychology, I really didn't know what to do with it. I came out and I actually went into health insurance, life insurance, disability, because I met this guy and he said, hey, do you want to try this? I said, sure.
Yeah.
And because it was still kind of touching the health stuff that I was interested in, the health insurance side of it, but I realized I didn't like selling things. And I left that. And because I needed to do something else, all these jobs I've had were always kind of random circumstances that kind of came to me. And I feel like for me, I do better when I am not trying to pull something to me and something finds me, right? And so Mercedes found me just like the last couple other jobs I had kind of found me.
Yeah.
So when I finished school, said I need to figure out what's next.
Yep.
And that's how insurance found me. And when I decided I didn't want to do that, I ran into somebody in an elevator and we were stuck in an elevator for probably 5 minutes, and I met this guy who happened to be the vice president of one of the accounts for Oldsmobile.
Wow.
So I talked to him. He gave me his card. He said, call me. I did.
Just randomly in the elevator. You're just sitting in the elevator and you randomly just meet this dude.
Yes.
And he gives you a card.
Well, we were stuck, right?
Yeah.
So when you're stuck in the
What are
elevator.
the odds?
What are the odds? There's only one other person, and you don't know when the elevator is going to get it fixed.
Yeah.
And so.
Just chatting.
We started chatting. Either you stare up in the ceiling.
Awkwardly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or you talk.
Yeah.
And so he gave me a card. He said, come work for me or give me a call if you want to work here. And I went. So I worked for Oldsmobile for a bit, and I rotated on all the different things that you could do at GM when you start out, right? So customer service, vehicle buyback, vehicle auction, worked with vendors, worked with some of the plants, really learned a lot of end-to-end automotive business, right? And I found that from there, well, maybe I want to do something different. And they said, well, you could try IT. And I tried learning how to be a programmer from there. No idea, right?
Wow.
So I became a programmer. One day, I was checking my email and someone said, hey, do you want to, or you got invited to go join this project management boot camp. I was like, I didn't apply, but it has my name.
Okay, I guess I'll go.
So I went and I picked up project management from it. It was probably intended for a different person with my exact same name because there's a billion of us out there, literally. And
Amy's.
There's a lot of Amy's and there's a lot of Wangs.
Really?
I think
Wang
Wang is
Amy Wangs.
There's a lot of Amy Wangs. I think Wang is probably the most common last name on the planet.
Really?
And for some reason, majority of them would like to want to name
Amy?
Yeah. They're named Amy. Maybe it's just easy to spell. I don't know.
Wang.
Amy Wang.
I feel yeah. And it flows well. It's a good name.
Yeah, it's a very common name.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been to the doctor, and where my name was called, 6 other people stood up. I'm not joking.
It's like the Spider-Man meme when they're all pointing at each other. Have you seen that meme? There's like 3. Anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all pointing at each other. Wait. Yeah.
That was me. I
Nice.
I stood up, and there were like 6 others, and we're all looking at each other, going, "Oh my gosh." So it tells you how common.
There's not that many Dylan Englands, I don't think.
No?
I've met other Dylans, but I don't think I've ever met another Dylan England. Yeah. I met a lot of Dylans that spell their name Dylan.
Yeah.
So I met one actually on LinkedIn the other day, and we're meeting for coffee on Thursday. And I kind of broke the ice by saying, because he has a podcast, and I broke the ice by being like, hey, like, love your podcast. Also, you spell your name wrong. And you start laughing. So, yeah.
So now you're meet up?
Yeah,
That's really cool.
Coffee. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. You know, I've never tried finding all the other Amy Wangs to meet them. I mean, after the doctor experience, I was just like, oh.
Yeah, you don't want to talk to them.
No, but there are a lot. And so, I mean, that's how I got into project management, is because this other Amy Wang was supposed to go.
No way. Really?
Yes, because later I realized that in the email.
Because you didn't sign up for it. It was the wrong person.
They just sent it to me, right? And there's a lot of us. So I went through this, I went through their tech training, and then I went through project management training, and I went to project management. And I decided that was the part of IT cool. I like better. And so I did project management, and it's a really, useful skill set. You can do anything with project management.
And you even need that within HR, I'm sure. Like those skill sets, I'm sure, track all the different projects and things you guys are working on. And
every industry,
everything needs it. Yeah. Every company.
Every company, every industry. And with project management basis, I was able to move into healthcare for a bit. So I worked in health insurance. And then I worked in a hospital, building a hospital. So I was part of a team, employee number 9, to help build Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital.
Wow.
And I mean, a lot of it was taking those basic project management skills, right? And the funny thing is, when they hired me, they said, we just need someone who has IT that can plug things in. That's how I was told. And when I showed up, there was like no building, right? Because I was employee number 9, and it was expanding a 30,000 square foot medical center, adding 788,000 square feet hospital. So there was nothing to plug in. Like
easy job.
Yeah, easiest job ever. Right. And so that's how I got into the hospital's work, right? Just it was the project management piece that kind of carried me through. And in between, I've had other stops, right? Working in startup companies, and back when like internet was new, and helping companies apply technology to whatever their business is.
Yeah.
And so the project management piece has taken me through everything that I've done. So going from healthcare to higher education, being a leader in IT there. Again, it's fundamentally fixing things.
It's interesting that how much of your history is IT related, not even HR related.
Not at all. Yeah.
That's cool.
HR, just like I said, I fell into it because that was the degree that I can get. Not even knowing that's what it meant. I mean, probably a lot later when I realized, as other people who actually progress with their degrees, you taking immediate master's degree in like employee relations or HR management. I didn't, because I was like,
you just did that because it's the easiest path.
It was the thing to do at the time, and I was like, I don't know what I want. And so I feel like I go through a lot of these like what's next journeys. Right. So when I left the University of Michigan, it was like, okay, what's next? I had spent time in IT and procurement there. It was a friend that told me, hey, have you thought about working at Mercedes? I know they're starting up a shared service. So shared services is something that I built through many of my organizations. That's the other thing that seems to connect.
What's a shared service?
So shared service is kind of like centralizing the capabilities of a company.
Okay.
So, oftentimes when you're in a big organization, even smaller ones, things are distributed. So you might have multiple entities or affiliates or departments doing the same thing 5 times, 10 times, 20 times. And it's centralizing it and bringing it together. Not just for like cost savings or efficiencies, but it's really building something that you can have that's consistent for the employee experience. Even like an employee culture, like that kind of stuff. Employee experience, customer experience. It provides that consistency, right? So that outside or inside, you get the same experience no matter what. And so I've done that for like IT, for healthcare, for in higher education, and now for automotive and HR. So it's something that, shared services is something that many companies practice. Not all of them do it right or well. And there's very, very different versions of it, right? But I think it's really important that it's the thing that if you can do it right and you build the right trust, you can really help advance the company. You can really advance whatever your business initiatives are. So it's not something that everyone does right or well. So sometimes there's like, why do you even do it? It's a cost center save. Yeah. It's a financial save. And if you go in with the wrong intention, it doesn't work.
It's like anything, right? Like for me, like people could podcast poorly. I like podcasts, but if you don't do it well, it could also be a detriment to your company and detriment to your time, and same thing. So Mercedes-Benz, you had a friend that worked there, or you had a friend that knew they were hiring?
I had a friend that knew they were hiring.
Yeah.
And said, hey, I saw that there was a job posted, you should apply. And I thought, well, I haven't done HR right now, even though all my previous jobs without the HR title, you're
dealing
leader.
With teams, and you were dealing,
You're dealing with people, you're dealing with leaders, you are developing staff, you're helping you're recruiting staff on your own because you want to bring in the right talent. You're onboarding your staff, you're still developing them. All those fundamental pieces are part of leadership anyways. Yeah. So being able to help drive that for an organization. And I had a lot of the health benefits background. So I had a benefits background, really understood all that from working at Health Alliance Plan, having worked in Prudential when I was selling health insurance and life insurance and IRAs and 401ks and all that. Making
so you had
plans.
a background.
So I already had the background.
Yeah.
And so being pulled together, the background plus saying, hey, you're going to do shared services. And there's a technology aspect for it, right? There's pieces where you're going to bring up new vendors and new tech.
And there's where the IT background comes from.
The IT background. Yep. And then standing something up that was kind of there, but really seeing it operationalize, there's the project management piece, right? So all those pieces tie together.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed all those things. So that's why when, after University of Michigan, I wasn't sure if I wanted to go back to work for somebody else. I thought about doing something on my own. And then she said, it's a great organization. And at the time I was like, Mercedes is known for great employee experience, quality of products, customer experience. How can you not, explore that?
At least give it a shot.
Yeah. And so I was able to join a really great team, really great organization and environment. So it's like, how can you turn that down?
Yep.
So I did that, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I met some really wonderful people, learned how to do some really exciting things, drive some beautiful vehicles.
That's fun.
Yeah. And I mean, amazing vehicles, right? And so you can't really go wrong.
Yeah. That's exciting. And so then when you joined Mercedes, what was your role originally?
So my original role was I was helping stand up the shared services. So they had just gotten through the project first phase, and we were trying to operationalize what does the rest of shared services look like.
So, but you weren't head of HR at that point?
No, I wasn't.
Yeah.
So I didn't become head of HR until my boss that brought me in left the company. So because Mercedes used to be Daimler as well. So Daimler Trucks and Mercedes Cars was one company.
Okay.
The company split. And so my boss took on a new role on the trucks side of the company.
Okay.
So then I was promoted to take on her role as head of HR and also the shared services. So I kind of had both pieces of responsibility.
No, that's probably not stressful at all.
Not at all. and during the same year, right, having to stand up a new entity because it was our rebranded from Daimler to Mercedes, there was a lot of work, right? Building the culture, building the team.
How many total employees?
So our entity's small because it's the parent holding company, about 100.
Yeah.
But the shared services side, we're supporting North America. So North America in total at the time, I think was like 13,000. So that's US, Canada, Brazil, Mexico, and Argentina.
Wow.
My piece of it was primarily just, the shared services. So depending on which entity in the region was subscribed to what service, it really varied.
Interesting.
And depending on who we were supporting and what they were supporting, it varied. So my scope kind of was very
and is that normal? Is that normal for companies the size of Mercedes to have so many different entities and then one parent company and then a bunch of companies underneath them based off of geography?
I think so. Yeah, I think there's a lot of companies that do it that way. And then how they're structured and what they do underneath will probably vary, right? The different entities they might have or affiliates they might have. Because there's different business units, right? So the different business units do different things. And then you have the parent holding company.
That makes sense.
So that's kind of how it's structured. But I learned a lot, right, about how distribution of an organization works, how things are decentralized, and how to work through things that should be centralized, maybe shouldn't be. So it was a really interesting journey. And it was a great experience.
What are some lessons that you think you've learned throughout your journey that would help a young entrepreneur maybe starting a company for even just the base level, hey, you're building an org for the first time, you're building an org chart, and you're not sure who to place what or what you're looking for in people. What are some lessons that you've learned throughout this journey when a young entrepreneur is building a company for the first time that they should potentially think about?
A few things, I think. I think it's important to, I think it's different when you are starting your own company versus with a large company, right?
Yeah.
And your choices of who you select for your team. I think who you pick on your team is completely critical, right? If you have a choice to pick who you can have on your team, that's the best way to go.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a choice, right, then you really have to get to know who you have and find out how you connect with them and what makes them tick, right? What makes them feel like they're successful? How do you help their success?
Yeah.
And my goal for all my employees I bring on is that, how can I give them everything they need to be successful while they're with me? And then it's their choice to stay with me or go somewhere else, right? So if I can give someone all the skills, the experience, the knowledge they need to be as successful as possible, but they choose to stay with you, that's the biggest compliment, right? It's huge.
Yeah.
But I also want to I love coaching and mentoring people. I love helping people find what it is that they're good at and be successful at it.
Yeah.
Right. And so I brought in a lot of people in all my different jobs throughout my career, just based on just like their individual talent. What is their finding their superpower and helping them apply it. And it's not necessarily what they studied.
How quickly can you find somebody's superpower?
I don't know. It just depends on how open they are.
Yeah.
Right. And but a lot of it just takes on a lot of conversation and seeing what they really like. And you can if you could put people where their strengths are, they're going to be so successful.
They're going to succeed.
And you're going to find those things, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, keep in mind, work is still work, and there's going to be things that you don't love. But
so this is really funny. Look at this. This is like caller said. This is like a something number. It's like a 1-800 number, but then it's like almost like it picked up the person's
something owl I saw.
Yeah, that's so weird. It's like almost how like people in call centers will like talk before the phone actually rings.
Yes.
It's almost like it picked up what they were saying to their coworker before. That's weird.
And then
that's
so you have the whole you have all of it written.
I have all of the like before they knew that the voicemail was recording.
The pre-conversation. That's funny.
Okay, sorry.
No,
I just like because I'm making sure we don't go over, but I had my phone out here. Normally I don't, but I have to keep track of time. And then I was like, what?
Well, I just saw owl when you said
yeah, I know. I was like, what is happening? And it was a 1-800 number. That's the weird part. Anyway.
Another side hustle. You can collect rare birds.
There you go. That'd be fun. We're rare birds. I actually do you know Jocelyn Ho?
No, but I saw that.
Yeah, I'll introduce you to her.
Okay.
She's amazing.
Her rare plants, I think it was?
Rare Plant Fairy. She owns like a massive warehouse. I don't know how many square feet, but it's huge. Multiple floors in Detroit.
Oh, really?
You can go.
It's here in Michigan?
Yeah, you can go. It's awesome. I'm going there a week from Friday, I think, or 2 weeks from Friday, one of the two. But she's incredible. And she's also a photographer, and she shoots wildlife with the camera, not the guns.
Right. Yeah, I like the camera. Not the gun.
So did she. Yeah. But so she's incredible at that. So she just travels all over the world with her camera and just takes incredible pictures.
That's amazing. So how did she get into that? And how did you meet her?
You have to listen to the podcast to get that full story.
I didn't get the full story. I only watched the little tidbits of things.
I got connected with her through a guy named Dave Feidner, who was also a guest on the podcast.
Oh.
And I got connected with Dave through another guest on the podcast named Mike Gruley.
Okay, so these are all guests who've introduced other guests.
Yeah, but then exactly.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and so Dave Feidner is an EOS implementer.
Okay.
EOS stands for Entrepreneur Operating System. It's a way of thinking for leadership teams to get all on the same page. And same as Mike. So yeah, Dave introduced me, and so Jocelyn is one of Dave's clients. And then when Dave came on, he had a blast, and he's like, "Bro, you got to meet Jocelyn." He didn't say "bro." That's what I said. He's older and way more exquisite.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a very pristine individual.
So he doesn't say bro, or is it bruh?
Bruh. No, I don't think Dave Feidner has ever said bruh.
Okay.
But Dave, you should try. It'd be fun. So they met Jocelyn, and she had an incredible story. Met for coffee, kind of similar to what we did. We met for coffee, and I was like, honestly, Jocelyn, this is incredible. You should share it to my audience. And that's where we met.
So yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And so Jocelyn's incredible. How did we get on Jocelyn?
I don't know. Owl?
Yes, owl.
Yes.
Bird, phone.
Yes.
Connection. That's incredible. So needless to say, I don't know if I'll be a bird collector, but I'll let Jocelyn keep taking the pictures.
That is really cool. Yeah. See, I don't know. I'm always amazed when people find like these really cool careers, right? Like to be the plant fairy. Is that what it is? And bird photography, and then you and your podcast. Yeah. Amazing.
It's just she's killing it on social. She has over like 100,000 followers on their Instagram page, and like they're killing it. Yeah.
I'll have to check her out.
Yeah, they're doing great. I always
really
promote her when I get a chance because it's just fun. It's a unique thing, you know?
It is very unique.
And I do love people's secret hidden talents too. You mentioned something though, when you were talking about finding someone's superpower.
Yeah.
It's funny. So Mike Gruley, who I just mentioned, who introduced me to Dave, but he was like my fifth, I told you this on the phone, he's like my fifth podcast episode ever. And he said it was one of the best interviews he ever did. And it was really encouraging to me. And it kind of like helped me kind of keep going. He called me once and he's like, "Hey, so you know, like podcasting is your superpower. Like having conversations with people, walking them through, helping them feel comfortable. Like that's your superpower." And I never thought about it that way before. And he was kind of the first person that talked that way or used that language before. Have you given any thought or advice to people how they can find their own superpower?
You know, it's kind of interesting you say that. I actually was a guest lecturer for a class at his class at U of M. And it was talking about helping the students find their superpower, right?
That's cool.
And so I think it really comes back to finding the thing that is most natural for you that you don't really realize you're doing.
Mm.
And it's the thing that most people come to you for. So it's not even something like you realize, oh, I'm good at doing this. It's something that people come to you, and it's something underneath who you are that sometimes it's hard to find on your own. But I would say, above all the things about you, for example, the thing I think your superpower is, there's something about you that immediately puts people at ease, and there's a sense of safety about you.
Mm.
And so I know it's a weird thing.
Yeah.
But I think that right there is your underlying
awkwardness. I'm so awkward. That's why. Sorry.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's an underlying superpower you have, which helps with immediate trust building, right? So immediately they're going to trust you with your services that you provide, whether it's your primary business, whether it's your other businesses, or wanting to open up and talk to you.
Yeah.
There's that something about you that immediately draws like.
See, now you're making me uncomfortable. I don't like when people talk about me. I get weird with compliments. Okay.
But so I don't know how to so I think those are the types of things that it's what people come to you naturally. And then you have to find that pattern of people come to you for that you may not even realize.
Interesting. Yeah.
Right. And so for me, I think as I was trying to figure out what mine happens to be, it's connecting dots.
For sure.
It's finding complex situations, taking very complex things and making it simple. And naturally problem solving without even realizing, right?
Yes.
I do that a lot. And
I would
actually
agree with
collecting.
That.
Connecting. I'll connect people from point A to B, think topic from A to B. So I like taking lots and lots of dots and just putting them together and finding.
And you also connect people with people.
And people with people. Yeah. So mine is connecting, I think is my superpower for now anyways.
I can see that for sure. I mean, you've connected me with so many people already and just naturally, and I think you also enjoy helping people and helping them be successful in what they want to be.
Absolutely.
And I think you find a lot of joy in that.
I do. I find a lot of joy in helping people be successful in terms of especially entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Or especially people who just want to figure out what they want to do next. I've helped a lot of friends who may have been in one career field and just talking to them and figuring out what they actually could be doing instead and then connecting them to what that they would be doing later on.
Yeah.
So I've helped a lot of people start different careers and build off of careers, and really kind of transform who they have been to who they could be.
What's interesting is now you're in that spot yourself.
I am.
Because, you're stepping away from Mercedes and, we've talked a lot about what's next for you. And I think it's I think you said something on the podcast that I think you need to hear. You said sometimes it's better, your life has been, things have come to you and the good things are things that come to you, not you forcing them or making them happen.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of times, especially now you're making a big jump of what is next?
Right.
What do I do? But your life has had a pattern where things have worked out, and I do know whatever's next for you, I think that thing's going to happen, whether it's another elevator breaking down or something. I know that you're going to find that thing. And when you find it and it happens, you're going to be like, this is definitely where I'm supposed to be.
I hope so. And I really think, and that's where I feel like I am just going to not force it, like you said, because there's been situations where I will say I'm pretty stubborn. And if once I set my eye on a goal, I'm going to go after it. And I have to sometimes realize that it's okay to stop. And that was the hardest thing about project management for me, is because not all projects should be completed. Part of that, you need to know when to stop and say, this is time to cut your losses.
Interesting.
And
That's
not
true,
keep going.
Yeah.
Right. And there have been multiple times in my life where I probably should have cut my losses, but because I'm so stubborn, I will make it happen no matter what. And then I regretted it after.
Yep.
Right. And so this time around, we're not doing that.
Oh, it's such a good lesson. That I'm the same way. I was so stubborn with the insurance thing that I should have seen that my skill sets could better be used in some other things sooner than I did. And I was like, no, I will make this happen. I'll make this happen. I'm the same way. And it's a lesson that I wish I would have learned 4 years ahead of time.
Right.
But sometimes I think that's how you learn the lessons though. You have to go through those things so you do know for the next time.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm a stubborn person too. And you said just learning when to cut your losses. And just because you don't finish a project doesn't mean you failed. Sometimes it's just the journey of realizing, you know what? this isn't worth it.
Right.
And then you can move on to something that is helpful.
Yes.
And
And
being
maybe-
willing to do that.
Exactly. And maybe you got what you needed out of it by just saying, you know what, time to move on.
Yeah.
Right. And that's been the hardest thing for me is not seeing things all the way through. Because even with my role, there's an opportunity to move.
Mm-hmm.
I'm choosing not to move to Atlanta where the company's relocating.
Yeah.
And it was tough, because if I was stubborn, I'd say, no matter what, I'm going to do this. But, I decided
And you're
that
going to put a round peg in a square hole. You know what I mean? You're like, I'll figure it out.
I'll figure it out,
Yeah.
right? And sometimes figuring it out may not be you're figuring out the right things, right? And so that's why I decided, you know what, I'm just going to see what's next, right? And see what the things I love to do and how do you pursue those things, right?
Mm.
What is that? I love supporting individuals in their development.
Mm-hmm.
I love writing. I love speaking at different engagements and sharing what I've learned and my knowledge.
Yeah.
I love coaching and mentoring. I love this HR and AI space that I've been really digging into. And I love even though it's kind of a love-hate, I love growing organizations, building organizations, and even doing the shared services, right?
Mm.
As difficult it is, that's why it's love-hate.
Yeah.
Because
It's hard work.
It's really hard work, but when it works and everything does what it's supposed to do and everything goes the way it's supposed
That's
to
the
go.
engineer side of your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing,
Yeah.
right? When you can get shared service stood up, whether it is in IT, whether it's in healthcare, whether it's in automotive, HR, doesn't matter, procurement.
Mm.
When it works, it's amazing,
Mm.
right? And seeing, because it is if you build it right, it's a great funnel for a lot of entry level people coming out of career, building them up, teaching skill sets, letting them grow in a company and move on. So there's that piece underlying that I love.
Hmm.
And then you also get to embrace technology and process and learning development,
And
all
even
those
people.
things.
And you get to be,
absolutely.
Yeah.
The people is the core.
Yeah.
And so those are fun things, right? And that's kind of why having those pieces, it's just, what does that look like when you have all these things that I love? How do you make all those into something else?
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Well, it's kind of it's a scary place to be, but it's an exciting place to be because you have a moment to breathe. And I think what you said is sometimes it's okay to stop. Sometimes it's okay just to be okay, let's just line. I don't have to be go. Let's just line things up and just see what happens. And I think you already have you have some speaking opportunities. You're looking to speak some more. Is that correct?
I am. I'm not great at it, but I'm getting better.
That's how you get better.
And that's how you get better.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I've been pushing myself to learn how to do. So just speaking at different conferences, whether it's a panelist, whether it is running workshops, whether it's being interviewed in different capacities. It's been a really interesting journey, and I love learning.
Yeah.
I'm a very curious person, and so having the opportunity to learn and stretch and do something different is fun.
Yeah.
Right. Because I can't keep telling people they need to do that if I'm not doing it myself.
Right.
Right. And
Right.
so I love that. And so, just doing these things. And, I partner also with Cornerstone University.
Okay.
Right. And so, which is part of the Z School, and learning about AI. Right. So one of the things I love about them is certifications and being able to apply. Right now I have this HR, this strategy of AI certification program through Cornerstone. So that was really fun. And there's other things like that, I think, that will really help future of work that I would love to explore. What other programs can you help with work for individuals, either, somewhere in the work journey, no matter where they are? I think continuous development is incredibly important.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, partnering with organizations like the Z School, with Cornerstone University, and other universities under them is a great way to help these organizations keep growing and helping individuals grow.
I think the common thing that I love about you is just you love watching people grow, and you love taking part in that and being part of their journey, whether it's through these certifications or schools, or whether it's connecting, or whether it's growing. There's one thing I know, that whatever you do next, there needs to be part of it where you can help people grow, because I think that's where you actually really find joy.
I do. I mean, it's I was told by a friend of mine that I have an overgiving personality, right? Which is probably true. And I need to kind of
figure that out.
out too, because I'm always overly generous.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things I do love is I love when I meet an entrepreneur and they're stuck somewhere, they need something. And if I can help figure it out, that's that problem solving.
Yeah.
And then that growth, that's it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Right. And so I do that.
You're like a bubbly, personable engineer brain. It's
You
have
people engineer.
You know what I mean? Because a lot you have an engineer brain where you're just you love seeing problem solving. You love that end goal when all the cogs and things are working, and that's really satisfying to you.
Yeah.
But you also are very personable and fun, bubbly, and so a lot of engineers I know are very not that. You know what I mean?
Right. No, yeah.
You
No,
know,
you're right.
No
Yes.
offense if you're an engineer, but you're boring. Yeah, it's I'm excited for you, and I think keep doing your speaking stuff, keep going around. I think you'd be a great speaker, and even get to the keynote spot, where you're doing some fun keynotes. I think that'd be
one
awesome.
day.
You're growing to that opportunity.
Yeah.
One other question for you, and can you believe it's already been 40 minutes?
Has it already? Oh my gosh.
Podcast. It doesn't even feel like we're having a conversation.
Yes.
That's what I love
Thank
about
you.
this.
Yes.
This is my favorite.
This is your superpower.
I love it. Probably should connect you to Herman too. Do you know Herman Moore?
I don't.
Yeah, I took former Lions football player. Anyway, that'd be a good connect for you.
That'd
Anyway,
be interesting. Yeah.
What is one thing that you think business owners could put in place to improve culture, experiences, like employee experience? Like, what is one thing you've learned over your HR, IT, project development, everything you've done, that if you have a business owner that's building an organization, like this is a very important thing to focus on? Like, well, if you could name one or two things, what would that be?
Most important thing for a business owner to focus on. I think really it's when you bring people on, they have to feel valued. And they have to feel like they have some type of skin in the game. So I grew up in the restaurant business. My parents opened restaurants. So I've been working since I was like 7, right? And so I know that whenever they brought people on, they always felt like they're part of the journey.
Yeah.
They're part of the crew. They're part of like they belong. They have meaning there. And I think it's important as a business owner to help create meaningful work for the people that work for you. That goes for any type of leadership, right?
Yeah.
So that people feel like they're contributing. It doesn't matter what the job is, but for them to understand the line of sight. Like this is what the mission of this company is. It doesn't, we were trying to sell the best, food and,
whatever the goal is.
The goal is.
Well, I think it even starts on having clear goals.
Right.
Right. Like you have to even be able to explain what those goals are to begin with, so that you can teach it to your employees.
Yes. And so this is where I love like taking complex things. The employees don't need to know all the different aspects of the company.
Yep.
But they need to have things simplified so that every single person in the company, whether it's one person to 40,000 people, they need to know what their role is and how do they contribute so they can feel the vision, right? And they can feel part of it. I think it's really important.
I think that is missing a lot.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of, even I can fall in the trap of like, I pay you, you do work.
Right.
And that's a very bad way to look at business. There's a company named Kalmbach Feeds. They're out of Ohio, and they create feed for animals, right? And they're growing like crazy. And one of the things that they do is they don't call their employees, they call them team members. And Paul Kalmbach, who's the CEO, or his son Paul, Junior might be now. But one of the things his dad Milton did was like, we don't, like, everyone is a team member. They're not an employee. They're on the team, and we're all on the same team, and we're going to grow this company. And so when they hire team members, they say team member. Like, hey, you're bringing right on, you're part of the team. And one of the reasons they do that is, like you said, like everyone has to get in the game. You're not just an employee that clocks in, clocks out. You're on the team. Yeah. You made it. You're here. And then they also do tons of personality stuff. They invest a ton into the pre-hire. So almost like when you get the job, it's almost like you won. Like, we don't let anyone come on our team. Like, you have to be the right fit to come on our team. And they do like a very intensive interview process to make sure the people they do bring in, it won't ruin the company culture. They'll make sure that they are good, And so then when you actually get it, you're like, oh, I'm on the team.
Right.
And then they're ready to go. And so shout out Kalmbach Feeds, because you're doing that well.
No, I think that's so important, right? Making sure the right people. Actually, one of the, there's a company that I'm helping right now, Lumenti.
Yeah.
And so Gary Travis is the founder of that company. And what he does is he's working with other founders to ensure that they're bringing the right people on their team. So he's doing assessments for startups, right? Venture studios are really his target to start, but other companies that say, hey, here's your team, but how do you make sure you bring the right person in or right people in, and making sure they know how to best work together. And he's really focused on, all the tech that is looking at what types of personality, what type of IQ, all the type of things that you need for the startup mind versus
That's cool.
other types of companies. So really interesting. So I completely agree.
Lumenti. Shout out Lumenti.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. Well, I can't believe that it's almost been an hour. This has been so fun. You have to come back on. Once you figure out where you're going, what you're doing, we can come back on next year. let everyone know about the amazing adventures that you've had over the course of the year. I know you and I are going to be hopefully working together on some exciting things and figure some things out. That's actually why I want to wrap up, because I want to show you some stuff and talk to you about some stuff.
Yes.
But I give this an opportunity to, every guest that comes in, an opportunity to promote whatever. And I know you're kind of like, I know you have a blog. I think the blog would be a great thing to promote. Yes. So tell us about the blog first.
So I write for Shared Services Outsourcing a week. So it's SSON, SSOW. So probably redo all that part, but
yeah, it's great.
So I write for SSON, SSOW, which is a HR shared services blog. So every month I have a blog talking about different aspects of shared services, specifically HR, and I'll touch on all the different topics that impact organizations that have a shared service. So check that out. That's monthly.
Perfect. And we'll make sure the link's in the description. So people right now, you can go to the description, check it out.
Perfect.
That's awesome. Anything else promoting that, like, what do you, speaking opportunities, fun things, like what are you looking for?
I would love to, help with any organization that needs to change their HR organization, their IT organization. So I have, with a background with HR, IT, and AI, helping to see how to take organizations from where they are today to where they could be with the right tech, right governance, right structure, or restructuring the company as a whole. So all those different things that we talked about. Happy to help organizations with those types of change.
I need to connect you with one of our clients, their IT company.
Okay.
And
that'd be great.
They would be a great connect for you.
That'd be great.
Sorry, just triggered.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. That'd be great.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, guys, check out Amy on LinkedIn. Is that probably the best place for people to follow you?
LinkedIn is the best place to find me. As I do my reinvention, I will probably have other socials, but for now, LinkedIn is the place to be.
Perfect. So everyone follow Amy on LinkedIn. Amy, thank you so much for coming on this episode of the Dylan England Show. It's been 40 minutes, felt like 10 minutes. It was fun. I learned more about you today.
Yes,
and that was the exciting thing. And thank you guys for coming on and listening to this episode of the Dylan England Show. As always, share it with a friend. Share it with whoever you think would be beneficial to hear this podcast. And always like, comment, subscribe. And we'll see you guys on the next episode of the Dylan England Show. Cool.
Cool. Thank you.